Well, basically, I was diagnosed with terminal cancer on the 31st of July 2018. But before I was diagnosed, I was actually, I went to my GP and my consultant for about 2 to 3 years. And, it was a little bit like tennis. My GP would refer me to my consultant and my consultant would refer me back to my GP. And consequently, nobody took any accountability for my for having me for me being diagnosed.
Judith, you said that your diagnosis came in 2018. How long did it take for you to get that diagnosis versus going to your GP and explaining to them that you were worried that something was wrong?
Well, it took about 3 years, to be honest with you. I mean, and the upsetting thing about that is that once I was diagnosed, when I typed into my laptop, just out of curiosity, I pull in my symptoms, which was a bloated stomach, a constant feeling of nausea, weight loss, and fatigue. The first thing that came up was cancer. So, it was really surprising that nobody had picked that up along the way.
So we know and
And I
understand.
definitely felt at that point in time that I wasn't being heard, that my concerns were not being taken seriously. And unfortunately, by the time they were taken on board, I was given a terminal diagnosis.
What difference do you think it would have made if you were listened to and heard when you first started raising your concerns?
Look, I can honestly say that I don't know. If I had been diagnosed earlier, would I no longer have been terminal? I'll never know the answer to that. So I couldn't say for certain, but that's a question mark that I have to live with for the remainder of my life. What if? And I don't think that anybody should have to have that question, not especially when it's in relation to your life.
So obviously this is your experience, Judith, but you're now helping and supporting other people within the Black community when it comes to getting that cancer diagnosis. What are they telling you about their experiences?
Well, the reason why I started the group in the first place was because along my journey, I felt very unempowered. I didn't know who to speak to. I certainly didn't know where to go for information in relation to my treatment and what my options were. So, initially I started the group as a safe space just to speak about some of the things that I'd experienced, and also to know, was this just happening to me? Was this just about me? Or was this something that was, a theme amongst the community? And once I started the support group and other members came, it was a common theme that people were not being taken seriously, their concerns were not being taken on board, and there was really a lack of, information as to what could you do if you weren't being taken seriously, if you felt that, you weren't being seen quickly enough, what were your rights as a patient? And so that's why From Me to You evolved. From Me to You is a group that we all have had a cancer diagnosis, or we have looked after somebody who has cancer. And we like to think, although we're not professionals, we are professionals by our experience. We have a lived experience of cancer. And what we try to do is advocate on behalf of our members to come in and to help our members to engage more effectively with their care plans and to empower them. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have helped with this by Macmillan, who have helped me to set up the support group to empower others amongst our community. And Macmillan have been amazing because they've actually got involved in the grassroots. They've come to smaller organisations and asked us, what can we do to help you to empower your community? And as a result, we're starting to do that, but unfortunately,
the work you're doing,
this needs to be something that's not just done by Macmillan. It needs to be taken on board by everybody.
I think many people would say there are some changes that need to be made. Judith, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Love what you're doing, and make sure you look after yourself as well in all of that. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I appreciate that.